It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Good morning, whatever time it is. Today is Monday, February 22nd. This is a very special edition of the Geno Jones Daily Variety Show. As you probably noticed, I'm not as animated and as excited as I would normally be. As a matter of fact, I had a guest previously scheduled, but I felt that it would be more proper to take some time to dedicate today's show, a very special commentary, to the lives of over 500, let me be accurate, the lives of over 500,000 fellow Americans that are no longer with us. We have now passed a tragic milestone here in the United States of America to where over 500,000 Americans, mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers and sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles and co-workers and church members and lodge members and fraternity and sorority brothers and sisters and fellow Masons and Eastern Stars and co-workers and people that coach the little league baseball team or the AAU basketball team or maybe the volleyball team or help sell Girl Scout cookies or they used to teach your child or your children or maybe your pastor or maybe a neighbor or maybe someone you just casually knew. Over 500,000 families have a hole in their soul, a hole in their heart. Yes. And I want you to really, I want all of us to take time and just pause and let that number, let's process what this number means. Over 500,000 people who were with us 1 year ago today are no longer with us. Now, I'm not going to focus on how unnecessary so many deaths were. I'm not going to do that. But what I hope that we can learn from this and going forward as a country and as a world, as a planet, I hope that we can use this horrible example, this tragic, heartbreaking, inhumane, criminal example of death that should not have been, not to this level. Let us use this as a teachable moment, as a cautionary tale. Let us look at this example and say, never again should we or will we allow ideology, ignorance, hate, selfishness, narcissism, conspiracy theories, ideology, whatever it is, it doesn't matter now because there are over 500,000 people that are no longer with us. And many, a significant number of those people could and still would be here if we just exercise a little more compassion and empathy and humanity for each other. Let that be the lesson that we learn. Let that be our way of paying respect. Let that be our way of honoring the death of over 500,000 Americans, not to mention people all over the world. But here in America, the nation that has always billed itself as the greatest nation in the history of the planet, the nation that teaches us as children about American exceptionalism. And right now, today, the fact that we have to stand and own that we as a country have had more deaths from COVID-19 than any nation on the planet is the most unexceptional thing we have done in centuries, probably since the Civil War and the inception of slavery in this country. Let us honor the over 500,000 dead. Let us honor those families that are still grieving, that are shedding a tear, that can't sleep at night, that are stressed out. Some have turned to self-medicating themselves in various forms that are probably destructive to their own health, that are dealing with mental health, that these deaths have triggered a level of mental health. Depression, anxiety, stress, many more. Let us honor these 500,000 Americans that have passed on. Many whose lives we could have saved. Please, let us do everything that we can going forward to protect and respect each other. I don't wear a mask to protect me from you necessarily. I primarily wear a mask to protect you from me. That is basic humanity, empathy, and compassion. I would never want anyone, even my worst enemy, even someone who openly hated me, I would still never want that person to get sick and possibly, potentially die or cause other people around them, loved ones and co-workers, to die because of my selfishness, recklessness, carelessness, narcissism, lack of compassion, empathy, and humanity. I would never want that to happen. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to hate. No one comes in this world hating. Hate is something that is taught. And we can and must unteach it. And it starts, the way to unlearn hate is to teach compassion and empathy and humanity for every and any human. Even animals have a level of humanity. Treat anyone and everyone the way that you would want to be treated, the way that you would want your mother or your grandmother or your grandfather, your dad or your spouse or your son or daughter or grandchild or aunt or uncle or niece or nephew or a family member. Can we just treat each other the way that we would want a stranger to treat us? It's not ideology, it's not religiosity, it's just humanity. Irregardless of what your ideology, theology, religion, lack thereof, or whatever you do or don't believe in. Humanity is something that we all have in common as humans. And the one lesson that this virus taught us is that it didn't give a damn about what your ideology is, your religiosity. It didn't matter if you had a religious belief. Religiosity didn't matter. Ideology doesn't matter. Your power, your privilege, your prestige, your position in life, your net worth, the square feet of your home, how many cars that you have in your garage or your driveway, the size of your yacht, how many vacations you have, and none of that mattered. This virus didn't and does not care about any of that. It just looks for a human, another human host, to keep itself alive. That's its form of humanity, because it needs humans for it to exist, for it to stay alive, so it could sustain itself and maintain life. That's what viruses do. And this virus is in a sinister and evil way brilliant in terms of the variant, the somewhat mutations of the original COVID-19, the variant strains from South Africa and the United Kingdom, Brazil, now in Japan, not to mention that there are probably variant strains right here inside of America, depending on your region and where you live. So the best way that we can honor the lives of the over 500,000 Americans that have died from the coronavirus. More people have died from COVID-19 than died in World War I, which my late grandfather, who lived to be 94, Geno Jones, fought in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. More Americans have died in less than 12 months, not exactly a calendar year. We have had over 500,000 Americans that have died from COVID-19 in less than 1 year than died in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined. All together, we still had more Americans that have died from the coronavirus in less than 1 year. So let us honor the memory, let us honor the lives of all of those Americans that lost their lives. Let us honor the memory. Let us lift up for those who believe in the power of prayer. Let us lift up all of those families that continue to grieve and mourn and to ache and to go through the anxiety and depression and loneliness and more from the loss of someone that meant everything to them. Let us also lift up in prayer for those who believe in the power of prayer, or just lift up in terms of wanting the best for those who are living with COVID-19 right now, those whose health has been changed forever, who are living with conditions now that didn't exist before they came down with COVID-19. And all the complications that virus has caused some people who have had to learn to live with the after effects and the side effects of what that virus has done to their body. Let us lift them up also. And going forward, can we please just show each other just a level of basic compassion, empathy, humanity, respect, and caring for each other, to protect each other by something as simple as wearing a mask when you're out in public and maintaining a safe social distance over 6 feet. And if you feel sick, don't go to work. Somehow get a COVID-19 test. I don't want to in 1 year, I don't want to be standing in front of you talking about we have lost 1 million Americans. I don't want that to happen. I don't want us to lose one more person, not just in America, but on this planet. And unfortunately, I know that's not going to happen. But that's my wish. That's my prayer. But what I can do and what I can control is I can try to lead by example. And I can do everything within my power to use my platforms to encourage all of us, starting with myself and using myself as a living example, to try to be the best version of myself when it comes to displaying compassion, empathy, caring, concern, and humanity. By wearing a mask when I'm in public, by maintaining a safe social distance at least 6 feet. And as soon as I can get my vaccines, I will be getting my vaccines. Because I want to be able to hug my mother when I go home to Chicago and see her. I want to be able to hug my baby girl who's in Chicago. I want to be able to hold my firstborn, my oldest daughter that's in Portland. I want to be able to hug my cousins and my friends, people that I grew up with, went to high school and college with, co-workers that I love. And I want the same for you and your family. So for those in closing, for those who believe in the power of prayer, or even if you don't, somehow take a moment to honor, respect, and lift up those souls and spirits of the over 500,000 Americans that have lost their life from COVID-19. And I ask, may God, may you bless, may you give comfort, strength, and whatever the survivors, the families and loved ones that survived the over 500,000 Americans that have moved on, give those families, those friends, those co-workers, those church members, give them the strength in whatever form they need to manage, to keep going. And I'll close, I'll paraphrase something President Biden has said many times. He said tonight, now I must give this man a lot of credit. His level of compassion, empathy, and humanity in the position that he has as the most powerful person on the planet. I have to commend him for that. And I'm paraphrasing something that President Biden has said. For all those that have lost someone for whatever reason, because we lose people from cancer and heart attacks also. And so I want to make sure I include you in this conversation also. But today specifically, this show, and today we take a moment to pay umbrage and respect the lives of the over 500,000. That's over 500,000 Americans that have passed away. To paraphrase President Joseph R. Biden, he says, there will come a day to where when you think of that person that you lost, a smile will come across your lips before a tear comes from your eyes. And I pray that that day, when you think about that person that you lost, I pray that that day, that when you think about them, that you can get that smile across your lips before a tear comes down your eye, sooner than later. I hope and pray that day is today. But if not, know that day is coming. It is guaranteed. It is coming. Keep the faith. Keep their memory. Their spirit and their soul will live with you forever. I lost both of my grandparents who raised me along with my mother. My mom was a young mom. So my grandparents raised really all of us. They raised me, my two sisters, and my mother. And when I lost both of them over 30 years ago, within the span of a 2-year period, it felt like somebody took a chisel and carved out my insides, like my soul had been carved out. But one day I realized that I had gotten over. My grandmother was the last one I lost. And when I realized that, I was like, I've gotten over that. I can get over anything. And so can you. Because what I realized is that instead of being sad and angry, feeling lonely, when I thought about mom and dad, I got happy because I thought about the memories that I had, all the times I spent with them, and everything they taught me, and all the life lessons and the conversations, walking to the corner tavern store and buying soft drinks and potato chips with my grandfather, or taking the bus and the L going on the other side of town to borrow or to pay back some money to my cousins, or just to sit and listen and talk to my grandmother, or all the pearls of wisdom that she gave me. She taught me how to cook chicken wings. All those wonderful memories, all those life lessons, all those pearls of wisdom. And you hear me mention my grandparents all the time. Geno Jones, who I'm named after, and Conway Jones. Brings a smile on my face. Doesn't much bring a tear to my eye anymore. And when it does, it's a tear of joy. And that day will come for you too. Because their spirit is with you. It's inside of you. And everything they taught you, everything they told you, everything they showed you, by the example that they set, the way they lived their life, the way they walked in the light, is now been passed into you. You carry that spirit. You carry their spirit with you. Know that. Take comfort and joy and pride in that. It will make you a better person. It will allow you to be the best version of yourself. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Show. God, please bless and comfort and give some solace and peace of mind and strength to the over 500,000 families here in America that have lost someone, and the families all over the planet. Shout out to Markel Bailey, my hairstylist and barber, and my wardrobe consultant and wardrobe stylist, Mr. Bruce Gage. You can check them out, both out on Instagram. If you'd love to be a sponsor or like to advertise on the show, reach out to me right here. Geno Jones, right here on my YouTube channel. Leave me a message, or you can reach out to me, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. That's how you spell it, Geno. Thank you for watching. Let's protect each other. Let's love each other. Let's have compassion, empathy, and humanity. Once again, to the over 500,000 Americans that have lost their lives, and those all over the world. May your God, whoever your God may be, he, she, whoever that being is, may you find peace, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in power, rest in paradise. Thank you for watching. Till next show. Have a good day.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.